Hello everyone and welcome to another high-elo game of Age of Empires. Today, like a homing pigeon, we find ourselves returning yet again to Arabia to witness FreakinAndy playing as the Orange Portuguese, take on MbL playing as the Blue Bulgarians. Now, while the players herd their herdables, explore their immediate surroundings, and try to go up to Feudal as fast as possible, let's take a look at the Civ matchup we'll be watching today. Now, the Portuguese are a mixed land-based and naval civilization whose strong economic bonuses allow it to take advantage of its very, very good gunpowder units. To get an early game boost to your economy, Portuguese foragers also generate wood while they collect berries. So take a look at the berry pile right here. Generally, the meta is to build a lumber camp first, but for the Portuguese, very, very important, build that mill first. 1/3 wood per 1 food collected. Now, all Portuguese units do cost 20% less gold. All technologies are researched faster, except for going up in age. And once you hit Imperial, you can build the unique structure of the Portuguese, the Feitoria. This is an economic building that auto-generates all 4 resources, but does take up 20 population space. Now, using all these bonuses and features, the Portuguese can field quite an impressive gunpowder-based army, as the Portuguese have access to every single non-unique gunpowder unit in the game, by the way, on both land and sea, and all of these gunpowder units can be upgraded to fire more accurately at moving targets and to increase the speed of their projectiles, which strongly benefits their unique unit, the organ gun. This is a gunpowder siege unit that fires 5 bullets in a spread designed to hit multiple targets at once. Now, opposing FreakinAndy, we have MbL as the Blue Bulgarians, what I would call a cost-cutting civilization. Their militia line upgrades are free, their blacksmith upgrades cost less food, their siege workshop upgrades also cost less food, and their blacksmiths do work almost twice as fast as normal. Now, Bulgarian town centers do cost less stone, which is great, because the Bulgarians can use their stone on things like their unique structure, the Krepos. Think of the Krepos as a mini castle similar to a Sicilian donjon, except that it's more expensive, but also comes with more HP, a higher attack, and tankier armor. It does provide 20 population space and can only be built in Castle Age, unlike the donjon itself. Now, once you've saved all your resources, you can invest them in building a pretty tanky army overall. Even though Bulgarians don't get champions, they can upgrade their two-handed swordsmen to be incredibly tanky with a huge +5 melee armor boost, and they can turn their cavalry Japanese by upgrading them to attack 33% faster, which is fantastic when you take into account that this upgrade does affect the Bulgarian unique unit. I am, of course, talking about the Conic, the game's only 2-for-1 unit that starts out as a tanky, powerful, flail-wielding cavalryman who transforms into a less tanky but still powerful infantry unit when it dies, or rather gets dismounted from its horse. So potentially, we've got ourselves a matchup with very, very heavy-hitting units. Both civilizations quite strong on the economic side. Both civilizations having access to some pretty powerful military units. Let's take a look at the bases, see where they've spawned, see if any particular player has an advantage or disadvantage over the other. MbL completely open to the north, completely open to the west. East a little bit easier to wall off using some of these 4 forests that have auto-spawned to his left, or rather his right. FreakinAndy, on the other hand, completely open to the south of the west. East easy to wall off, north completely open. His primary gold nice and secure in the back. Primary stone a little bit off campus to the side here would do well to secure this area. Let's take a look at MbL's gold. A little bit off campus, but more to the side than it is to the back. Primary stone, though, nice and secure. So no discernible major differences in terms of base spawn. MbL having his forward-facing portion completely open. FreakinAndy having his forward-facing portion completely open. Now, while we've been discussing the civilizations going over the territory, the terrain, FreakinAndy already going up to Feudal on the back of only 17 villagers. MbL with 20 villagers completing the loom upgrade. And then take a look, he's got the Feudal Age upgrade, rather not an upgrade, but the Feudal Age going up, queued next. So about, what, a minute and 10 seconds behind MbL will be, but he'll hit Feudal with 20 more villagers. I leave it up to you and to smarter people than me to decide whether a quicker Feudal is better with fewer villagers, or whether the standard 20 villager meta is the more preferred route. Now, as I mentioned, just to go over it again, remember that these 750 original, or not 750, Sorry. The original berry count here, whatever it is, 1/3 of that gets added as wood to the Portuguese coffers. And so whereas you see standard meta is to build a lumber camp first, the Portuguese generally now, because of this, it wasn't in the latest patch, but the penultimate patch, ever since then, the mill has always been the first structure that they built. Let's see what the players have seen of the map. Let's see if they've discovered each other. Yes, FreakinAndy has seen his opponent's base. MbL clearly has seen his opponent's base because he is already streaming 2 militias across the map. Will there be a third? Is it in production? No, it's not. He is saving his resources for villagers. Let's see what these guys can do. Now remember, Bulgarians, the second they advance to the next stage, automatically the militia line upgrades kick in. Sorry, I had a bit of a brain fart there. For some reason, my mind went to the Turks, who get the exact same feature, but for their light cav. The Turks, when they go up age, that scout cav becomes a light cav, becomes a hussar. The Bulgarians, the exact same thing with the infantry line units. They do not need to invest the resources, the time to upgrade these. They automatically become men-at-arms. Spearman shooing away whatever FreakinAndy is trying to do here. Most likely just get a bit of vision on his opponent's base. He's circling around in a strudel shape. At the same time, these 2 men-at-arms are seeing pretty much everything of FreakinAndy's base. An archer comes out to shoo them away. He would do well to be a little bit careful not to go too far off campus, because these men-at-arms can turn around at any moment and try to snipe that archer. But FreakinAndy, not his first time at this rodeo, keeping his archer pretty safe, keeping it close to the town center line of fire so that he can quickly retreat, garrison villagers, and attack the men-at-arms as necessary. But now 2 archers should be able to kite these men-at-arms for days. Where are you going, Mr. Spearman? Okay, MbL exploring the map, whether for relics, whether for resources, whether for avenues of attack, has yet to be determined. But what is determined is that he is out on the map exploring. What is Orange doing? Chasing these 2 men-at-arms all the way back home. Very interesting here. MbL doing a little bit of a different opening than most players. Most players invest in these militias, usually 2 or 3. Sometimes with other civs, maybe a 4th and a 5th, very rarely. But generally, these men-at-arms / militia stay at your opponent's base, continue to be annoying, continue to try to get vision and see whatever damage they can get done. Oh no, Tony the Tiger chasing Sam the Spearman over here. But MbL, having decided to bring his men-at-arms home, now they are fighting from the low ground against the Spearman. Skirmishers moving forward, making FreakinAndy pay for his choice of archers here. Already have taken down 1 orange archer, a 2nd, a 3rd, a 4th, and a 5th pop out. So the numbers now very much in favor of our orange Portuguese. And we'll see what he can get done here. Another skirmisher popping out for him as well. Military supply, he is behind. Blue dots streaming across the map. Men-at-arms, a 3rd one coming out. Okay. So MbL deciding to reinforce these initial 2, despite the fact that he brought them home, despite the fact that they've accomplished literally nothing except for the 1 kill they got. He is continuing to press ahead, and even though, take a look at their HP, not the greatest. We'll see what he can get done with it. Andy, having been pushed back to his base, is securing his borders. What's his wood count like? He's got 100 wood, so probably another house will go up in this corner. Secures his primary stone as well. Tertiary gold, very far off campus. We'll rather probably get this one, this gold pile, in before he gets that one. Has MbL explored this part of the map? No, this is a brand new exploratory force here by him, but will he run into those archers? Let's take a look. Sometimes it's nice to see first-person view here, and the archers pop out from the north, immediately get a shot off at the skirmisher. A little bit of damage, not much to write home about, but Andy has to be careful here. This is a lot of skirmishers, and he's got a lot of archers. If MbL wanted to with that micro, could be able to target down a bunch. Look at the archers already taking serious damage. Men-at-arms struggling to break into this gold line. MbL knows that the standard play for Portuguese is to rush up the castle to get those organ guns out. So, well, no doubt he's trying to take a bit of control over this gold pile. And even though it's nice and tucked away in the back, Andy has not yet secured a full wall off or even a funnel. And so it is still exposed, but 9 army supply for him, 3 skirmishers on the production tab defender's advantage here. Reinforcing is much quicker. And if you can take a look at the mini-map, not a single blue dot streaming across the map. So this is MbL's force. This is what he's chosen to do the damage. If it can get it done, fantastic. If not, he loses all of these units for very little done. 4 kills so far. 0 of those kills are actually civilian. So we are exchanging military for military. And the dance continues. Look at them tangoing. A skirmisher for a skirmisher. MbL taking the high ground, though. But his units are so much weaker. Look at their HP is absolutely abysmal. Orange opens up a little gate here, says MbL, come on at me, come into the tower center range. And now the villagers join in. We've got ourselves a good old-fashioned town attack. Every man, every woman, every child, every elder is involved, and MbL's entire army gets wiped off the face of the earth. He is now stuck defending with this contingent of ranged units. 5 skirmishers, 2 archers, and our Portuguese is going up to castle. So mission not accomplished here for our blue Bulgarian, who tried to delay as much as possible, tried to get into this gold line. And now Andy, knowing who he's playing against, has pulled 4 villagers off the production line to complete the wall off. Will be able to finish that long before this small feudal age army reaches his borders. But not to be outdone, MbL going up to castle as well, basically 15 seconds behind his opponent. More and more barracks coming out. He wants to make use of that Bulgarian barracks bonus. Remember, units upgraded for free and can add a huge melee boost. I mean, that Bilbo Baggins upgrade of +5 melee armor is just absolutely ridiculous. We'll see if that's the route he wants to go. For sure, it doesn't. For sure, looks like he's going the route of infantry, pumping out 8 men-at-arms, or rather men-at-arms. Let's take a look at the civilian count while the players kind of disengage from each other, or rather, I shouldn't say disengage. Andy has snuck his army in through the back. At the same time, MbL doing the same thing here. We'll see who can get more damage done. For now, FreakinAndy managing to get 1 villager kill. We'll see if he gets any more. His units starting to go down in HP. MbL desperately knows he's got to stop this now. He failed at stopping the gold rush to get up to castle. Now he needs to not fail at getting the stone rush so that his opponent doesn't get that castle out and start pumping out more and more organ guns. We'll see if he can accomplish it. Okay, found himself a nice position here. These men-at-arms should be able to bust in. And now FreakinAndy's in a little bit of trouble, although not in too much trouble. Manage to get the stone required, now building a castle. So MbL unsuccessful in the early game twice over. First, not able to stop his opponent from going to fast castle. Second, not stopping his opponent from being able to get a castle up. And now, oh my god, he's entering the kill zone of the town center. Luckily for him, only 5 villagers, and now he's getting Viper walled in. Oh god, MbL, this is absolutely atrocious for him. It looks like the town center's not firing at all, but it really is. The HP on these men-at-arms starting to dwindle. Now they hit castle age. Now the men-at-arms become long swordsmen, and more blue dots start streaming across the map. Remember, they are very powerful, but they are very slow. That being said, Andy, he's running out of places to get resources, right? The stone has been knocked off. The gold has been knocked off. The lumberjacking has stopped. And so Andy, not really gathering as many resources as he potentially could, but we'll see now that the organ guns are out. We'll see how the dynamic changes. Our Bulgarian plopping down a first and a second additional town center. Andy choosing to spend his stone rather on the castle. Of course, not a bad idea. You are not going to survive long with this feudal age army against castle age organ guns. They do attack on a 16, but take a look at their accuracy. 50% accuracy. Now, MbL's been knocked into a corner, is taking serious amounts of damage, and he's presenting his units in the worst possible formation here. Remember, I said the organ guns fire on a spread. You do not want to approach them on a line like that to the side. What the hell is going on here? A tiger has died. Skirmishers from MbL have died. Skirmishers from FreakinAndy have died. Now he's going to be able to clear up this force. Andy probably focused here on this part of the map as he tries to get more and more of MbL's armies to F off. Andy finally plopping down a second town center. I love this location. Good amount of gold. Like I said, he's probably going to go for this gold pile instead of the one that's incredibly off campus. But will he complete this before the archers make their way over here? Let's take a look at the speed of these units. 0.96, 0.99, 0.85. So in theory, MbL should be able to run circles around these organ guns. Unfortunately for him, the area, the disco, is closed, and now there's nowhere for him to go. One organ gun remaining here. Where are the others? Second one joining the battle. A third one. I mean, he's got 9. They are slowly making their way across the map, realizing that this is no longer really a threat. A few damaged units here from the Feudal Age dinosaurs, relics of the past, says FreakinAndy. So why the hell would I not move forward with no fewer than 6 organ guns? We'll see if MbL catches that. Oh, he sees the vision of one. Not really something you want to engage into here. Oh my god. Absolutely atrocious how quickly they can demolish these units. And let's see what FreakinAndy can do. Now he's the one putting on the aggression, even though MbL is now still being annoying, being pulled into the line of fire for this castle. Castle, surprisingly, not able to get a single unit. Organ guns at home defending well to the west. This town center should be able to defend against these long swordsmen so long as Andy realizes what is their armor, +1. Andy needs to realize that he's under attack here. 1 organ gun left at the front. 6 continuing to circle and entangle themselves in the base of blue. Should be able to outrange the town center, right? 6 to 7. So in theory, these organ guns could potentially just hang out here and cause a lot of damage to one of these town centers, if not both. And finally, garrisons its villager. Military count 15 to 3, although MbL blowing up in terms of villager count. We'll see if he can stay around, stick around long enough to make use of that incredibly powerful villager lead that he has right now. 13 villagers at the 28-minute mark is not a small lead, but 7 organ guns coming forward to join the 6. The one that was here, I guess, died to the Krepost. The ace in the hole for the Bulgarian team right now is that Krepost. I mean, 9 range, so the organ guns are basically nullified. Not too sure what the hell the point of these 2 skirmishers is. Probably just spotting. Yeah, you do not want to start using individual infantry units to attack. Is MbL pivoting? What is he doing? He is building a mangonel. Where are you? Okay. Garrisoned inside that siege workshop. Man, has FreakinAndy found himself a little nook here to attack 1, 2, potentially 3 town centers. Not too sure why he's moving. Just keep going, keep attacking. Maybe if you add 7 more. Oh, man, steps very, very briefly into that town center's range of fire and immediately takes a shot to the face, damaging, basically taking half the HP off this one. But look how quickly they demolish structures, these organ guns. And MbL does not have an army at home to speak of. This is his only army, and it is an expeditionary force, apparently, further and further away from the base. But more and more mangonels coming out. We'll see what they're able to do against this onslaught. Villagers moving forward. Lumberjacks. Miners. Anyone and everyone. What is this? This guy looks like he's holding a boot. What are these guys holding? I'm not too sure what they're holding. I mean, they have a hoe, a rake in their hand, in their right hand, but what the hell is that bucket? Okay. Oh, yeah. FreakinAndy trying to be frickin' doubt over here with a very aggressive castle. How many villagers for him? 9 villagers and a random Feudal Age archer as well. 18 organ guns on the menu for him. These 2 skirmishers, okay. We'll leave them. We'll see what kind of damage they can get, what kind of trouble they can get up to. But now the mangonels come out. Immediately snipes 4 of these organ guns. Oh, man, taking a bit too much damage. One more shot and both of these will die. What's the range we're working with here? 7v7. So no one really having that big of an advantage. This mangonel sees the villagers. They cancel the castle. FreakinAndy a little bit indecisive. Instead of building a castle, building a house. No doubt wants to figure out what the hell to do. He's got 999 stone for all of you who believe in numerology. Andy here with the discounted 1,000 stone count. What is he building? His aggression here has been completely stymied by the presence of these siege workshops. Brilliant positioning by MbL. Not 1, but 2 on either flank of his base. Means that mangonels coming out of either of these are going to be able to intercept any and all organ guns. A fantastic placement. A lot of players would have just rested on the laurels of one. And now FreakinAndy building a very defensive slash offensive castle. Does have a barracks and archery range and a house in their sights, but not exactly the death-dealing castle that he wanted to place here. So FreakinAndy not being freaking out. Although maybe he is. We'll see how the castle goes, right? That's part of Doubt Castle. It's longevity, I guess. Orange moving to the side is going to discover this. Oh no, these lush fields that are supplying MbL with all that good food. Another castle being built by Andy over here. Villagers pivoting west. And what is MbL planning on doing? For now, holding the line with mangonels. How are his resources? They are absolutely terrible. He still somehow has the villager lead, despite the fact that he had 13 siege, organ guns. Basically patrolling the outer perimeter and inserting themselves into the gooey center of his base. These villagers need to move, otherwise the town center is going to just snipe them. Interesting. Even though the line doesn't touch, I guess it can technically hit that castle. Conics are the order of the day for MbL. 2 of them out on the map, 1 more being added in. Remember, this is a 2-for unit. You get 2 for 1. Castle should go up though, right? It's at 71%. Not sure where these villagers are going. Are they going to defend the to repair the organ guns? No. Where are you going? What are you doing? Get your butt back to the castle. 80, 90%. 95. This castle is going up. Not much these conics are going to be able to do about it, but should be able to snipe a good amount of villagers. So FreakinAndy villager count has been plummeted to 6970, and 4 of them are in here not doing anything. But take a look at the map. He is surrounded. I'm going to zoom out. Apologies to anyone on a smaller screen. Take a look at Andy's vision. He sees everything in the west. He sees everything in the north. He sees almost everything to the east. If he had gotten this outpost up, for sure he would have seen everything here. But as things stand, MbL continuing to do nothing with these 2 skirmishers has been compressed back into his literal corner of the map. 2 castles, 1 Krepos for him. We'll see how he decides to play this. For now, just conics and more onagers, mangonels rather. An incredibly defensive castle out of him. He is not banking resources. I thought maybe he would want to try to go up to Imperial real quick, but instead builds a castle. Does not have that much gold, does not have that much food. Where are his resources? Let's take a look. So he's still got a good amount of gold here. These 2,400 gold pile here. As we saw, his primary stone nice and secure in the back. He's got a secondary gold under protection of that town center. Although we'll see how long that lasts with this mangonel probably dying. And right as I finish that sentence, it dies. The good news for MbL is he's got this forest here to the back that is unassailable. I mean, unassailable if he closes this part of the map off. Otherwise, Orange can push in, although Orange doesn't have any more units to the west of MbL's base. Oh, beautiful shot here by MbL. Another beautiful shot here. These units, again, have the exact same range, so you're never going to get one beautiful, clean shot off that doesn't, immediately get a response shot out of your opponent. But 24, I don't know why I keep saying siege. 24 organ guns are making their way in, pushing their way into MbL's base. To the north, to the south, but he's discovered the castle now. So he knows he's got to be careful. The longevity of these organ guns is now called into question. Let's see what they can get done. What is their HP, by the way? Almost perfect HP on these guys. And now Andy is the first to hit Imperial, building this big, old, juicy Feitoria. Take a look at how much space it takes up on the map. 20 population space. So you'll see, even though 27 and 82 make 109, the population is 129. A very, very standard Portuguese meta being played by Andy. So far, so good, though. MbL struggling to respond. What is he building? Conics Conic, dismounted Conic. He's got the villager lead by, what, 40 villagers, 35 villagers? He needs to get up another castle to the west in order to save himself. The problem is for him, trebuchets. And what is he researching here? Stirrups. Yeah, you definitely need. Now, one thing I didn't mention, Conics, the slowest attacking mounted melee unit in the game. And so you definitely need that stirrups upgrade that makes them attack 33% faster, what I like to call Japanesing up your Bulgarian cavalry. And we'll see if he's planning on even going up to castle. One good way to respond to castle, to your opponent going faster Imperial than you, is if you can't beat them on quality, definitely try to beat them on quantity. And he's continuing to produce more and more Conics. Organ guns dying to these onagers, but onagers dying as well. A random Feudal Age archer that we saw 10 minutes ago is still alive. Look at him poking and prodding, having 0 kills. Let's see what he's building. A Krepos in a very, very defensive position. Not sure I'm a big fan of this. Maybe it would have been better served placing it somewhere else, but not too sure if he even can with those organ guns. So MbL's base, take a look. There's a big old bite. FreakinAndy has taken a big old bite of this base. Trebs destroying everything in their path. Siege Workshop desperately going up. Our Portuguese, despite the fact that he only has 93 villagers and 27 military, is already supply capped, and that is because of these guys. 4 Fetorias are going to auto-generate. Take a look at his resources at the top left of your screen. How fast they are going up. Just for your sake, for the sake of reference, a Feitoria, remember, every second, 1.6 food, 0.7 gold, 0.7 wood, 1 gold, and 0.3 stone. So multiply all that by 4, and that's how many resources Andy is getting per second in exchange for all that population space. But our Bulgarian says, you will push into here and no further. I now have a force of cavalry, quantity-wise, the exact same as yours, 26 to 25. Remember, 26 includes this one random archer, so let's not count him. It's 25 to 25, although now our Bulgarian exploding 27, building 6 more light cav. No doubt they will be the first to rush in against these organ guns, the first to die. The meat shield extraordinaire. And let's see when he decides to engage. Okay, they're moving out. Light cav to the right, Conics to the left, trying to flank these organ guns. One Conic gets converted, but a big old surround on these organ guns as they retreat. They are not firing. Yes, finally they fire. They're going to the high ground. They're running away to the castle. Needs to get rid of the Trebs at the same time. One Treb does go down. Second Treb should go down as well. We'll lose these cavalry units for sure, but my goodness, has he equalized the... Oh, look at this, a dismounted Conic fighting for the Portuguese Empire. My goodness, has MbL done a good job here of equalizing the military and stopping the aggression out of our Orange Portuguese, although our Orange Portuguese moving in a little bit too far, maybe. These 7 organ guns should be in trouble. One of them is basically dead. Does immediately die. Anything in this castle? Nothing in this castle, so no additional arrows being added. And now we've got Conics and Light Cav fighting, okay. Target the monk, gets the monk. Now, though, MbL having, oh, God, look at this placement here by FreakinAndy, but only 5 villagers? These Light Cav are going to swarm over that in a second. I was going to say, MbL has reclaimed this chunk of map that his opponent has taken from him. The problem for him is now he has no way to deal with his follow-up, which includes pikemen. And those pike are just going to slaughter these light cav. I don't know if this castle goes up. It might just be a bit too much for MbL, who tried to overwhelm his opponent with numbers. But take a look. Even more reinforcements streaming in from the north. FreakinAndy has made himself a nice little base here. A lot of monasteries. 1 random barracks. Dismounted Conics who have been converted. Oh, 1 more shot needed against these villagers. Oh, God, what's the percentage? 56%. He has to stop this castle from going up. Ignore the pikemen, although can he? That Treb is basically going to destroy this castle. Absolute banger of a game here out of both players. MbL trying his best. Failed in the beginning, like I said, to get the gold. Failed to get the stone. And then was just pushed back by that incredibly powerful Portuguese castle/imperial push. I'm seeing a lot of Reddit threads about how the Portuguese, just like the Burgundian, the Flemish Revolution, the Portuguese are just way too powerful, and they need to be nerfed, and they need to be whatever. At the end of the day, MbL invested a significant amount of time, resources, and micro in trying to get the gold flow to stop, which he did not do, and then he did the exact same trying to get the stone flow to stop. I wonder if instead of that, he would have been better served by just building up his own base, following his own plan of attack, as opposed to trying to stymie the plan of attack of his opponent. You gotta love these units. So look at that shield, look at that flail. An absolute crazy game. Let's take a look at the numbers. FreakinAndy has killed 184 units. MbL only 124. 66 organ guns, 48 light cav. APM, when was this? Okay. MbL with a good APM at the end of the day. Let's take a look at relic gold, if that played any role. 3 relics for our Portuguese, who controlled the map the entire time. Trash resources going in favor of MbL, but gold and stone, my goodness. This is about what? 6,000 stone without the relic? 6,000 gold without the relic? And what is this? 2,400 stone extra? So approximately 4 extra castles worth of stone, a little bit less than 4. Which is exactly explains why there's 1, 2, 3, and a 4th castle being built by our Portuguese. And yes, MbL did his absolute best to try again to stop our Portuguese from going up to castle. When he failed at that, he tried his absolute best to stop our Portuguese from being able to get enough stone to go up and build a castle, which he built very defensively. And once that happened, MbL was in a world of trouble. He needed to get the numbers up. And with the added Feitoria income, my God, 4 Feitoria just consistently pumping out all 4 resources. I mean, MbL was going to have a hard time of it anyway. But man, FreakinAndy has stormed. I mean, we saw in the middle of the game how much vision he had, how much of the map he had controlled, and how little MbL actually saw. Unfortunately for him, he ceded way too much control and momentum to our orange Portuguese, who takes the big W, but GG to both players.
Did you enjoy this video? Check out these other clips and make sure to subscribe and enable notifications so that you're notified of my latest uploads.